Hello, welcome to the first stream of 2026. It took me 24 days to start streaming this one. I did play a little bit offline. Well, not offline, but not on stream, I mean. But this is the first time that I actually managed to press the streaming button. And we've got 4 tables of 50 NL on coin. Just fired them up a few minutes before I started the stream. I had 2 interesting hands, one where I flopped trips, but unfortunately I didn't make a lot with it because I decided to get a bit tricky, and another one where I had ace queen and had the nut flush draw, but it bricked and I lost against a mate flush. But let's see what's in store for us today. So for now we have, well, king jack. I'm just gonna raise king jack offsuit because it's 6-handed. This next player was out. It's marginal from under the gun, but with the antes it's fine. We're getting 3-bet by a player who I have down as an open limper, so this can go either way. Because you made it so small, there is an argument for calling, but we're just too dominated and he is a passive player, so I think I prefer to fold king jack in that spot. It was a marginal open in the first place, and if he had made it 6 big blinds or more, I would have folded straight away. The consideration was only because he made it so small. If it were suited, I would call there. But king jack off, I mean, he's got a lot of ace king, king queen, aces, kings, queens. And even if he's got a hand like tens or nines or so that he does decide to raise, although I'm not even sure he would raise those. But even then, we're only flipping. So I think that's best not to put more money in there. Ace 3 suited. Just gonna fold it in the small blind to a raise. Okay, here we have a limper, but with jack 10 off in such early position, I don't really want to get involved. 3 deuce suited, definitely not a hand I want to call or raise with. Same applies to 10-5 off. Ooh, but this guy now jams. Let's see what he has. He has ace 10. Okay. And this other guy called a shove with queen 9. What? Wow. Open limped ace 10 off, then shoved over raise. Very interesting. This guy called pre-flop all in with queen 9 off. That is just incredible. This is the type of player I want to get involved with. So I'm gonna okay, here we can go either way. I am just gonna start with a check in this case. King, not amazing. Gonna check again and then go for value on the river. Or I give him a chance to bluff potentially. He bets pot. Easy call. We gave him so much rope that we're gonna call this one. So this is probably maximizing what we could have gotten with this hand. So I'm just gonna say here, bluffed river with pot-sized bet after I gave him rope. Yeah, so this is, I'm trying to become a bit better with taking notes on players. Okay, pocket jacks on the button, definitely 3-betting. And we got it through. Okay, King Jack suited in the cutoff. There's a raise, that's fine. We are just going to 3-bet this one, of course. You could call there, but I don't like to cold call in any position apart from the big blind. I prefer to play raise or fold here. 8-7 suited, early position is an easy fold. This is one of the hands that a lot of players would call. But it's not worth it. I actually did some research into that and I noticed that whenever you call or raise or whatever with suited connectors, you basically lose money. So I just reduce the combos, and especially from early position. Now I'm not saying to fold 7-6 suited on the button if it folds to you, not at all. I would definitely open that hand, but not in early position or even middle position. It would be different on this table on the top left, because I know that there are these two players who seem to be very bad. So I would open such a hand in the hope to play a pot against them. I actually want to keep watching a bit on this table because it seems very interesting. King 4 off. I am going to raise it up. It is a bit outside the range, but it's fine. Here I'm gonna call a button raise, checking, and here checking as well on this board. That really isn't great for me. Getting bet into both ways here. Easy call. Here I am going to call as well. So I'm going to check raise this one, probably a few bets. And here with our 5, I think we might actually be good. So I'm just going to check. And here, well, I was going to check raise, but he makes it quite big. So I'm just going to check call. Ooh, he had a straight. What? He was lucked into the straight there, I believe. Let me check this one out at 3-4. Right, so we were ahead and then he got a gut shot. Okay, this guy, oh, he actually had the ace of clubs. Wow. Yeah, no chance that I would have got him to fold there. Okay, here we're getting 3-bet. This is interesting. I am gonna call. It's probably very marginal. Flopping second pair. Definitely calling. Now, this is bittersweet, because the king is of course good for him, but then again the hearts are good for me. So if he bets, definitely have a call here, even if he bets that big, because we have a lot of outs. We have 3 10s, 2 8s, and all the hearts. Plus we might even be ahead. And look at this now. The question is whether I should donk. Up here I'm just going to start with a check. I don't have time to think much about it. Should I ever donk here? Yes, I believe I can donk small. And he just folded, so I was probably ahead all the time. Right, so this is interesting now. Ugh, there's a bet and a raise by these two players who are just very I am gonna call this one. Let's see. I mean, this guy is short stack, but we're playing against the bigger stack. Okay, he checks. That's good news. I am going to check this one back. Really don't like this river down here. I am gonna go for the 4-bet. Okay, he checks again, which is interesting. And now, can we go? I don't really know if we can go for much value because he raised that flop. So I feel like he might be trapping. I'm just gonna check it back. Oh yeah, he did it with the 7. Okay, well maybe he would have actually called me there with the 7. Okay, pocket 8. So yeah, I mean this guy really isn't the crusher. Can't fire up the hand that I wanted. Okay, now we have second pair. And this guy bets again now, but with 2 players to act behind me, us only having second pair, I I am gonna fold this, although it is a bit tight. Being in a better position, I would have definitely called there, but can't really do that. And yeah, he had the 9 actually, so good fold on my part there. Right, so we have a message in the chat. Say hi, Artigen. Nice to catch you live. Yeah, thank you. Nice to see you here too. Nice. My first stream in 2026. Nice to see some semi-familiar faces. Well, I don't really see faces, but this is annoying. But oh no, sorry, not this one. This one on the left here. I do actually. I'm just taking too long now. I'm just gonna fold. It's just not a good enough hand. I was thinking of just 3-betting against the min raise there on the button, but it just took me too long, and then I thought that's not good. Right, we have Ace King suited, and our one of our fishy friends open to 4.2. Now this guy now raises to 8.4, which is interesting because he can have a lot less. And I saw what kind of hands they went all in with earlier and called, so I am just gonna shove Ace King suited over this. I expect. Well, actually expected one of them to call, but it's fine. If not, absolutely okay. I got, what was that, a 12, 13, 14, about 15 big blinds, uncontested with ace high. So I definitely do not mind that. I actually expected the short stack there to call it off with whatever he raised, but he might have gotten scared. Jack 8 offsuit against cut-off raise, so this is cut-off, not hijack. Still, even though it's a min raise, Jack 8 off is just not really the hand I want to call there. Aces versus queens here. 10-8 suited. I'm just gonna open it because it's a stream and we have antes there, so I'm okay to open it. Right, so one level up guy says, I know for a fact that I have a clear plus 30 US dollars ABI. No, sorry, plus 30% ROI in tournaments up to 30 USD ABI average buy-in. But I'm absolutely getting butchered with variance in even the small field tournaments over the last month. Well, sorry, I really feel you. I know how that is. That's one of the big reasons why I don't like playing tournaments anymore, because it's just variance. It's just so brutal. Here, by the way, folding to such a big raise, gonna fold 10-8 or suited. And basis for my plus CV ROI is the sample size over the last 4 years, so it's proven reliably enough for me. Yeah, I don't disbelieve that. I definitely think that that can be the case. Here, by the way, ace jack off can go either way. I'm just gonna fold it now because I had the ace-king hand in the ninth hand here, although ace-king didn't progress post the flop. King 9 suited, gonna open this as well. Right, so yeah, I totally believe you that you have really strong sample size, a big sample size there, and you can still get butchered, of course, in tournaments. You can get butchered all the times, all the times, all the time. Okay, oof, I was gonna call this 3-bet, but I'm not gonna call the called 4-bet now, so just having to fold. And King 9 suited, I'm also gonna fold it. You could consider sometimes I will 4-bet, as you saw me earlier, I did 4-bet, but can't 4-bet every time with such a hand, especially once he makes it bigger than normal. Right, so yeah, in tournaments you can get absolutely butchered. I've got a record, although I'm not the best tournament player anyway. I know what I'm doing, but I'm not like anywhere near pro level in tournaments. So, but still, yeah, I've had both live and online tournaments where I just bricked one after the other. A7 suited against a 3x raise is still a call. It's getting a little marginal. It's not even that amazing to call this, but it's good enough. We flop top pair, which is good, but also not. I don't have a great kicker, but top pair is often good. He bets quite big, as he should, and we call, and by saying as you should, if you have a double like ace x hand boards there, ace and another Broadway, then you need to bet big or check. Here he continues barreling. I still think against the button, definitely going to call. Of course we'll be behind quite often, but often we won't. So checking, because I think he will not triple barrel bluff enough. Here Jack 10 suited would have loved to call but can't against the 3-bet. And this guy now goes for a just under half. Okay, here same thing, we're gonna call this ace 8 suited. I am I just have to fold this one. I don't think he's triple barreling enough to be good here. Ace 8, by the way, checking, here folding. Just gonna fold. It's a bit of a shame. Now we have 2 pair here, and I'm just gonna go for the overbet, hoping to get called. Here we are going to bet, and yep, we got called and we win it. Okay, not the best flop at all with our non-green jacks. And he bets he over bets this one. I mean, this is really annoying now. I mean, I know this guy is just not a great player, but do I really wanna? I mean, he could have absolutely nothing, but I have second pair here, and he overbet. I'm just gonna fold this. Like, it is very nitty, but I think I can get into better spots against such a player. If I had had an overpair to the board, there's no way I would have folded. But just there, this just wasn't a good. One. But yeah, the one hand that I want to talk about a little more is this ace 8 hand here, where it went check to the river, and then I rivered 2 pair, and I thought he might. Oh, here I was gonna bet. Look at this. The open raises to 35 big blinds. I mean, I don't know. Ace 9, I have to fold. Like, could be ahead, but I mean, this is absolutely a great table to be at, even though I have to keep making folds. But yeah, so here on the river, we got to the river, checked through, and I knew that if he has some showdown value, he might even call anyway, and he definitely can't fold an ace after checked through to the river. So that's why I went 2x on this river, and he called. Don't know what he had, but we won. So I really liked this hand, how I played it. So one level up guy says, so nice of them, 4.2x open and click to 8x 3-bet to fold to your shove. Haha. Yep. Ace 8 off. I'm just gonna fold it here. I somehow find your commentary very soothing to listen to. Oh, thank you. I really needed exactly the kind of stream you are doing today, so thank you for that. Well, thank you for tuning in, for joining in, for chipping into the comments. Yeah, I'm glad that you enjoy the soothing commentary. I try not to be too excited about things, but yeah, so here opening 9-8 suited just about. Here I am definitely going to 3-bet ace king. A6 suited, also gonna open. Borderline from the low jack, but still good enough. Ace king, we're getting it through, which is, so all of that is quite nice. Yeah, so my favorite table here is definitely the one on the top left with these two players. I just need to have a hand against them, and I almost did when I had the jacks there. I actually made a mistake with the 3-betting size, unfortunately, because I was just distracted by this other table, because I didn't realize he made it 4.2 and I only made it 14. Also now I have lost the connection somehow. That is not good. I hope you can at least still hear me. What is going on here? Okay, we are back, hopefully. So one level up guy also says I have a sample space, I assume it means size, of about 100,000 plus hands that I played last year after studying some cash game basics. Yeah, that's 100,000 is pretty good, although a lot of people say it's not enough, and of course it's not enough in that sense, but it is enough to know whether you are profitable or not. Right, king 3 suited against the min raise, definitely raising. Here I would have called the jack deuce suited, but I'm not going to do it now because there was a raise. Here we have 2-pair. I think we can raise this one up. Let's go to something like 18. He won't fold a king. He won't fold a flush draw to my big raise. And we have 2-pair. So he does call. Now, of course, we'll lose against king queen. Do I want to get tricky here? I think I want to get tricky. I'm going to check because I think this is a reg, and a reg will just bet big here. Try to get me off that. So now I'm basically in bluff catching mode. I changed tact here, but that is fine. I called, but why does the system not... What's going on here? Am I losing connection once again? Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, what's happening here? Come on, yes, call this, please. And the 4 on the river, so now we are checking. And he shoves. That's interesting that he shoves here. I don't love it, but I think we're getting 2-1. He might still be overvaluing something. He might be bluffing. I'm just gonna call this one off and lose against Ace Jack. Wow, look at that. For some reason I didn't even consider that he could have Ace Jack. Wow, he really got there with a gut shot. Yeah, that shows that they're just not barreling enough at these stakes. So I kind of made a mistake there. But I still think there was a lot. The mistake was that for some reason I didn't even really see that straight. I was being a bit distracted, but that's fine. That's what happens when you play on stream, and then when you get stressed out because the connection fails. Now I wish they had failed. Okay, here we're getting raised by the big blind when we have King Jack off, so it's an easy fold, unfortunately. And yeah, we just got stacked. Not very happy about that. I will need to look at that hand again. So that's definitely the one hand that I want to focus on in my studying later. But yeah, that is okay, that will happen. And it's interesting that he called there. Actually, I want to see if I can keep this hand up somewhere. Queen 10 off, low jack, not good enough. Ace queen off is good enough though. So I want to... Oh, it's this button, I believe, isn't it? No, this one. Okay, getting 3-bet by the button, so definitely going to 4-bet this one. I mean, not definitely, you could fold, of course, but against the button raise specifically, I actually do like that. Right, so this guy, he called me with a gut shot when I made that big raise on the flop, and then he just got his dream river, the gut shot, and then he stacked me. But I think his mistake was actually in terms of money against my exact hand was still bigger than mine. Right, on this board here, I am going to start out with a small bet and then double barreling the turn if he calls to try to get him to fold. Well, the trouble is only that if he has a hand like tens or jacks, he might not fold at all. And he is now actually not three betting, just re-raising, not re-raising, just raising, sorry, because I bet. Right, here I'm definitely gonna call behind with my pocket sixes. The thing is, do I want to shove? Will he ever fold tens or jacks if I shove here? I don't think so. I just have to fold, unfortunately. We're not deep enough for me to get him to fold an overpair reliably, unfortunately. Right, so here, unfortunately, again, we have to fold. We missed. Not much we can do, sadly. Yeah, so thanks for confirming that the stream wasn't lost. And yeah, so it was just coin poker that somehow lost it there. Well, I wish they had lost it more, but then I would have been annoyed because I did think, especially on the turn, I did think I had the better hand because the whole point of me. So the way I played that hand, I check raise big on the flop, and then when I get called there, I think he either has something or he's just trying to bluff me off something. But yeah, the question is, what would he call with there that he would blast? Because like a hand like ace queen, you wouldn't even have that necessarily, and then you wouldn't blast with it. So I probably made a little mistake there in really calibrating the hand, and I don't want to use this as an excuse, the lost connection, but it did throw me off a little bit. I'm not saying that I would have necessarily made a better decision, but that is something I need to definitely look at and analyze. And I keep talking about it because this has been the only really, well, actually not the only, but one of the most interesting hands here. I think the one where I 2x the river with 2 pair was also interesting. Right, 8-7 suited, so this is what I said. I'm gonna open it now because on the button we have this player who is really weak. How did he get to over 400 big blinds? I missed that. He was on 33 earlier. Right, so here we are 3 ways to it. We have an open ender, which is great, but I don't want to put too much money in here because I don't think we can get him to fold. The turn is pretty good. Now we have 2 draws, but again, I don't want to put more money in than I have to. I don't think I can get players to fold. Okay, he overbets now, which is interesting. But with all the draws that I have, I definitely have to call this one. Hoping that the button calls behind. I don't want him to raise. He folds, and we get the flush, which is great. We might still have a bigger flush, so he overbets this one, which is interesting. I mean, I have an 8-high flush. I'm definitely not going to fold this one. Absolutely no reason to raise. We're basically bluff catching here. And we do win it. Great, excellent. Right, so he had a gut shot on the turn, missed on the river, and we caught him bluffing there. So he was ripping the hand that I had, kind of. Although you wouldn't like. Of course, he could have. He could have actually overbet the turn. Capable of bluffing is what I'm gonna write in the notes. No, don't worry, level up guy. Don't have to be sorry for distracting me. That's if I'm allowing myself to get distracted is totally my fault. But that's just the thing with streaming in general. Like everyone says that people just play a little bit worse when they're on stream, and that's what happens to me as well. But yeah, no, keep pushing questions. You can do a post stream or on Discord, as you say, or you can continue here. That's absolutely fine to continue asking me questions. I'm happy to answer them. So here I open King Queen offsuit under the gun, which is marginal. A lot of people don't think it is, but it is marginal. We're getting 3-bet by this player again. Earlier we 4-bet him. Now I'm just gonna fold it. Don't want to go overboard with 4-betting. But yeah, it's not being going super well for us. Although it's mainly that one hand where I got stacked where that's defined my result so far, but I've been doing all right in other tables. Ace-5 suited, gonna open this one under the gun. Okay, now here 9-7 off. I am going to open it and I'm gonna size down a little bit because I want to play a pot against this player. So I'm gonna start with a half pot bet here with my gut shot, and I get him to fold. That's great. So yeah, this is the one type of mistake that a lot of players will make, that they will just look at their hand on the button and will just fold there. But if you have such a weak player in the big blind, you definitely want to. Okay, here I'm gonna call 8-7 off, and here I'm gonna 4-bet this one. Ooh, interesting here. So we have some great draws. Nothing else to do, just we're gonna call. Here I'm gonna start with a quarter pot bet again, actually even a little smaller. Here I can start going for value. I'm not gonna go too big now. Getting raised again by this player. Not this, I mean, not in a similar spot, I mean, not by this exact player. But I can't do much with this hand, so I just have to fold. And here I have to be careful not to overbluff this one, but I'm still gonna go. I'm not gonna go too crazy because I just want to get him to fold a 9, really. Don't think I can fold an ace out. 8 deuce offsuit is unfortunately a fold even against a min raise, min bet. Yeah, no min raise. Okay, and now we're getting raised here, which is interesting. Obviously, we can't do much with our 8 high, so I'm gonna fold. You know, bluffs haven't really gone through today, have they? Okay, here this is nice. This is the player who just loves shoving, so I'm just gonna go 5x here in position because I know that he loves. Ah, and now he fold. Now he fold. Earlier he went all in with ace-10 offsuit over a 3-bet, and now he just folds when I have kings there. Great. Still think it was right to go bigger, just exploitatively against this exact player. But maybe he's caught on somehow. Unfortunately, that did not work out. Yes, I was saying my bluffs aren't really working out. I played a little bit off stream yesterday, and then my bluffs worked really nicely. But of course, now that I'm here on stream and everyone's watching, you can see how I'm failing at my bluffs. Okay, 10-9 suited, opened. Pocket deuces. I'm just gonna fold it because this player is now sitting out. Okay, everyone folded there. Okay, raising king jack off. Okay, this is quite small. I am gonna call it. This is borderline, but it's fine. Fortunately, we'll have to fold there. Opening jack 10 suited. He bets quite big, fortunately. Not much I can do, so I have to fold. Yes, I think my 4 bets have barely gone through, and then I completely whiffed when I 4-bet bluffed. So that also hasn't been amazing. Anyway. Pocket sixes. But once there's a raise, I don't want to call so early with so many players to act behind. Okay, so this guy earlier, he folded. Now I'm just gonna do it again. Just gonna go quite big. Pocket 5, same thing as with the 6s. I need to fold. And now we're getting him to fold with our 3 bets, which is fine as well. Okay, ace jack suited in the big blind. We can see what the action is. Okay, so we have a 3x raise from a recreational player. Can I go for a raise here? I'm just gonna call this time. Ugh, this is not the kind of flop I was hoping to get. He checks though, which is good. I'm just gonna check again. And he checks, and we have ace high, we have showdown value. No reason to bet. I'm just hoping he checks, and we win. Exactly, that is fine. So yeah, I did consider 3-betting there for value, but then because he made it 3x, I thought maybe he's a bit stronger, and I don't have any reads on him. The only thing I can see is that he's playing on his phone, and usually that means that he's more on the recreational side. Right, they limp to me from the button, and I whiff the flop once again. So just check folding, of course. Or not even check folding, just folding. Yes. So, okay, now I want to 3-bet 9-8 suited. Definitely opening ace-8 suited on the button. Getting it through with 9-8. I feel, I was gonna say I feel like the 3-bet is coming here in the top right table, but no, it wasn't. Right, so we have another limp here, which is interesting. So now we're having limpy players. Right, so definitely going to raise this one. I'm gonna raise it 7 big blinds. And he folds, okay. I think this player also limped. Right, so again we have this situation where this guy raises and gets isolated by this guy. Tempted to put in a cold 4-bet because he's raised him a few times and I have been getting out of the way quite a bit. I am just going to do this. This is very loose, but I still think this can be good. Because I do think that the original raiser will fold, yeah. And he doesn't have to have a strong hand. And me in the big blind, cold 4-betting, that looks very strong. So I would expect him to fold hands like ace-queen, ace-jack, ace-10, king-x hands that he raised there. But unfortunately he does call. Okay, so we are gonna... So the SPR is quite small. We're gonna start with a check now. Normally I would 4-bet, not 4-bet, I would bet a quarter pot after a 4-bet. But here in this case he can have better ace-x than me still, even though I thought ace-queen, ace-jack might fold, but the suited variant might call. He's betting small now, which is fine. Definitely going to call this one, no reason to raise. If he bets small again, I will call one more time. If he goes all in, which he does, it's tricky because I don't think he's bluffing. He could be because it gave him a tiny bit of rope there by checking and then check calling, but I still feel like I need to fold this one now because he could be trying to get me off kings, queens, jacks, but then what does he have? Okay, here we are getting 3-bet again. I'm just gonna 4-bet, and here I'm just gonna fold this one. Bit annoying, especially because we did have top pair, and now we're getting 5-bet jammed on, and we have ace 5, so folding. So again, like today, all the bluffs that I've been trying kind of don't work. Like it's. But the thing is, it's not like I'm only playing against players who only raise a 3-bet the nuts. That's not the case. It's just that I seem to run into better hands all the time. Right, 5-6 suited could go either way. Just gonna call it this time. You can 3-bet. I mean, we have a gut shot, but we don't even have any backdoors. We have undercards of the board, so if he c-bets, we'll have to fold. This is not the time when I want to put in a check raise bluff not with this hand at least, especially not when he bets so big. So this is unfortunately another easy one to fold. So just going through the chat again. So I feel the ability to start, stop playing anytime is great, but as they say, with great power comes great responsibility in terms of staying disciplined, in terms of how much we push. Yeah, definitely. So this is the thing. You have to be disciplined, self-disciplined. But yeah, that's part of being a successful poker player anyway. You can't be a successful poker player without being super disciplined. That just doesn't work. Especially when we are pushed around. Yes, that's the other thing. Like if we get pushed around, that can create something. And yeah, observer's effect on my bluffs working, not working is kind of meta exactly. So today, this is totally the observer's effect here. Because Okay, so now here on the bottom right, I might. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I might call there with my force. Not after the 3-bet, but I would have called here because the original raiser, I think, is someone who limped before, so he's probably not limped on the button, so he's not the best player. And then the small blind, I know, is also like a passive recreational player, so I would have liked to see a flop with my fours, but definitely not with this action. King deuce off, just a fold against a button raise. Right, and the question there was if I'm offering CFP, so that is coaching for profit. No, I do not have that. So I have, if you're familiar with my other channel, the Live Poker Guide, which is a much bigger channel than this one. That's where I teach live poker, and there I have a coaching program that I've just opened the doors to, where I take players from just break even to crushing, live, low stakes, where I teach them everything from pre-flop, flop, turn, river, exploits, what questions to ask, and so on, and where I analyze hands for 6 months. So that is my flagship program that I offer. But coaching for profit, no, I don't do that. I'm not an investor in poker, which I understand can be a great model for some people, but unfortunately, I've never gone down that route. I'm a coach and a player and not an investor. I mean, I am an investor, but not in poker players. Then said, if I play non-anti ranges at these stakes, am I really losing EV? In my guesstimate, I make a lot of EV pre and post flop, and range differences in anti and non-anti do not move the needle. Yeah, so I don't understand exactly what you mean by if you play non-anti ranges at these stakes. So range, you mean on coin poker specifically, you play with ranges that are they're not taking antis into account. No, you're not losing a lot of EV there. It basically just means that you fold a little bit too much. Okay, gonna do another bluff here from early position with ace jack offsuit. This one is again a little bit loose, but absolutely fine. Here, 5-6 off. Just gonna raise it. Was thinking of limping, but I haven't really limped anything today. So I'm just gonna raise. Getting cold, flopping nicely. Gonna go I'm gonna start actually with this. Here, definitely going to c-bet the king high board. And we get the fold, which is great. And here I am just gonna go with the check raise. He could be stabbing with nothing, then I just get him to fold. And if he has something, and we still have decent outs, he could even have a 4 or a 3. Then even the 5 and the 6 are good outs. He raises us again. He raises really big. I mean, I don't know. Like, what's he wrapping here? A set, 2 pair. Don't think a good queen would do that. But we only have an open ender. And we don't even have 8 clean outs because he might be having a flush draw. So once again, a bluff that doesn't go through. I should celebrate these. Oh dear. Okay, yeah, so back to the question, should with the non-anti ranges. So if you play on coin poker a game with antis and you don't play anti ranges, you're not going to lose a lot of EV, but you're going to lose a little bit if you just fold too much, which is what you'll do. Right, so here, just have to concentrate. I'm going to cold 4-bet this one to 18. This one isn't even a bluff, and this one goes through, of course. When we don't bluff, we don't get action, but when we do bluff, we basically always get action. Not always, but quite a lot today. In December, I streamed a few videos, and but I don't know if you didn't see them. You can go back there. You'll have more fun on those, because in December I actually won most of my sessions and did well, and bluffs went through and everything just fell into places. But yeah, today is just been carnage. Right, 9-4 suited in the big blind against a 4.2x raise, definitely folding, even though it's the type of player I'd love to be involved with, but not out of position and not with this hand. And definitely not once the small blind raises it up to 30. Right, here I am going to 3-bet king. And we get a fold, so this was a tiny bluff that went through, but I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, so if the question with the non-antis was something else or I misunderstood it, then please do let me know. I'm happy to answer it. Right, here we have pocket aces against a raise, so we are going to 3-bet them, of course. Here again, pretty terrible flop for our hand. He bets. I mean, this is kind of like marginal, but and again with the aces, no action, of course. I'm just gonna call it, even though it's not amazing, and this is just getting worse and worse. Now I get queens, same thing. Just gonna do the exact same thing, raising to 7.3. He keeps betting, I just have to fold, so this was another one where we missed. But that's the thing, like I usually even miss the flop most of the time, and the one time I had two pair, then he hit a gut shot on the turn. Here I'm just gonna call with King Jack suited, because I want the big blind in the hand, because I think there is more EV to be had by that than to isolate myself against the reg. But unfortunately, I don't really have much here. And well, because he makes it so small, we have two overs. I am going to call this one. I mean, this is of course pretty loose because we have king high, but there is a potential that we can take it away on a later street, but not once this guy raises, so fortunately wasted 1.66 big blinds. So let's see, game's getting a bit slow here now. Yeah, so the thing with short-term poker, like by that I mean just looking at one session or very few sessions, obviously we all know that it's about variance, but the way variance comes in here often is really like whether you run good or not, like whether you hit flops, whether you make hands or not. And today, like nothing really went for me. I most of the time I didn't hit anything. My bluffs didn't go through, and when I hit something, someone else hit something better. And these sessions do exist, and it's fine. I'm not complaining about them, but just saying like this is what happens, then it just won't work out for you. Okay, here we have ace king, and I'm gonna go for the cold 4-bet with ace king. Even though there was a fairly early position raise, a middle position 3-bet, but we do have ace king. Obviously, if he comes over the top now, we have to fold our ace king, which he does. So that is really sad. But when we're so strong and cold 4-bet from the big blind, but yeah, see, this is what I mean. This is another one of these examples. We are just running into the top of their range, just over and over and over. And there's not much I can do. I'm not gonna call it off because I tilt, because thankfully I'm not tilted. This is just what you have to accept. And as I said, I was running really good in December and yesterday as well, so it's bound to happen to have a session where a lot of things don't go according to my plan. So when the guy 5-bets after I cold 4-bet from the big blind, what's his range there? I mean, maybe sometimes you will have ace king or queens, but basically it's aces or kings. I don't think he has any bluffs. I don't think he has jacks, tens. I don't think he has ace queen. And I feel like even with ace king and with queens, he wouldn't necessarily shove. He would probably just call with that hand, with those hands. So yeah, if you call off with ace king there, that's really burning money in my opinion. Okay, we can check here. And now he overbets, so I'm out. I mean, I would have folded anyway. We have queen 10 off in the big blind. This would be a defend if the small blind folds. But he's taking his sweet time. Now he folded, and we can call. Not amazing. He checks. We have queen high. I am just gonna start with an overbet here. Yeah, just thinking when he checks back there, he probably doesn't have much, and he won't like to call an overbet. So hey, a bluff that went through again. Think of the second one today, even though they're small. Right here, three betting ace queen suited. Okay, queen four suited is a raise on the button. Of course, this guy is on 635 big blinds now. He wasn't 33 earlier. Have to fold here, unfortunately. Jack 3 suited is just about an open with an ante, and also I want to play against this big blind. Yeah, it's sad that on table 1 here on the top left, I just don't have a hand to play against these two massive whales there. It's like really frustrating, but what can I do? I would just need a big hand when this guy does his shenanigans. But when I had kings there, there was the one time where he folded. Actually, he folded again when I had ace jack. Okay, we got it through with our ace queen. That's great. So if anyone has any other questions, please do let me know. I'm here for a little bit longer and happy to answer questions. Okay, King Jack. Let's see what the action allows us to do. It allows us to open. Right, 7-3 suited. Just I'm gonna 3-bet this. Right, and now we're getting this is just really annoying. I'm gonna 4-bet this. Okay, here I'm gonna go with a very small bet. And this guy shoves on me now. Okay, well, then he was probably strong in the big blind. I just figured because I made 2x and the fish called, he just wanted to isolate there, so I didn't perceive it as being that strong. And hey, we got the other one through there with our 7 high and our like 15% pot bet. Great. But yeah, so maybe that was too optimistic with my king jack off to 4-bet there. But yeah, we're just continuing to not be able to win any big bluffs. Yeah, it must sound like a broken record by now. And the thing is, I'm not tilted or anything. I would just like to show you guys that some things actually work. Because I still think in general it's sound what I'm doing. Is just like there are days when things don't work out. Okay. These are all hands that I can't really play. Well, at least I will get some nice rake back today for this session. That's actually really good on coin. You get 33% rake back, which is great. And you get it flat, like you don't have to reach any tiers or anything. So I really like that. Okay, so this guy, and now I'm just going to put in another 4-bet with my a7. And here I'm going to go with a 3-bet with ace king. Yep, we got it through against chess master. Okay, here with ace king. We get 4-bet as well. And against this 4-bet, I'm just gonna call now. Definitely don't want to fold. We flop top pair, top kicker, so probably have to get it in. I don't see him having a 9, and we lose to aces. So just calling, absolutely no reason to raise. He checks, that's actually a good sign. I'm just gonna check behind. I mean, I don't think he has 8s or a 9 or 4s, which means that we basically have the best hand unless he has aces that he's slow playing. Okay, he goes 22. Question is, would he do this with ace queen or ace jack? I mean, I'm definitely not folding here. The question is whether I should jam. Can I get him to call with ace queen? But I still think I have to do it because I basically almost always have the best hand. And you fold it. Okay. Well, one time we actually hit something and it held to the river. And I think it's interesting that river decision whether to call or to shove because I think it's very close. It's just because I'm thinking that he's not slow playing anything, although on the other hand he could be slow playing aces, and if he does that, then of course we're maximizing our losses. And but for me, the question was whether he would have ace queen and ace jack there that he bluffed with, bluff with pre-flop, I mean, and then bet those for value. But he might not even have done that. So yeah, maybe it was actually a little bit too thin to raise ace king there. But I still think it's kind of close. Okay, we now have ace king. On our favorite table. Ooh, and we get raised by this guy. So let's see what happens if it folds back to me. I think I'm just going to shove this. Queen 9 off. It's just about a call. Okay, unfortunately this guy now re-raises, but I don't want to fold. I still think this is actually fine to just jam still with ace king, because we can be flipping there right here. Just gonna check it. I just left it too long, and we win with queen high. Yes. Right, so he is not snap calling, which is great, and he folded, so that's amazing. Yeah, so the reason why I jammed here, I would have jammed anyway, even if that guy had folded, because this guy on the button here, he has proved that he called, what did he call an all-in with earlier? Well, like queen 9 or something like that. Okay, king queen suited. Ugh. I am gonna call this one, even though I'm in earlier position and it's a 4x raise, but it's against this player. I want to play against him. So I will just risk it. Okay, here we have to 3-bet. Here I'm just gonna fold now. Okay, so we do not have a great hand. Okay, I'm just gonna take a stab here because if he check raises, I can easily get away and it's fine. Calls. Do I want to start bluffing this one? I do, because I think he is capable of folding. So I am going to bet a little bigger. But unfortunately he calls again, and we now have king high. I'm just gonna give up, unfortunately. I don't think I want to try to get him to fold something, and yeah, he had only had ace high, but with the ace of spades, uh, maybe I could have gotten him to fold, but I still think it's better to just give up there. So yeah, in the end, my play cost me quite a bit here, but okay. Okay, we've got lots of players sitting out on this table now. Queen 10 off, I can just about justify raising this one. Okay, I would have called, defended, but not against raise in a 3-bet, even though, I mean, I could have actually 4-bet this as a bluff, but I prefer to have a suited hand for that. Ooh, look, there is the 4-bet. Okay, 10-3, queen 3 off against the min raise is still a fold. Here we raise and we can call a 3-bet. Oh, we get called. On this board, I'm going to start with a check because I'm out of position. He bets. I'm just going to keep all his bluffs in. I'm just going to check call. Here ace 10 off against this specific guy. I think I like to 3-bet, even though he might bluff 4-bet me. Okay, here on the right he size up. Yeah, he does 4-bet me, unfortunately. Okay, I have to call this one here. I'm also just gonna call it. He checks, which is interesting. Gonna check behind. Checks again. Gonna check again as well. And now we have second pair. And against second pair, I'm just gonna go with a bet. Because you might call with ace high. Okay, so this guy triple barrels me here, but he has just so many bluffs, I think, and he's really saying he's got a deuce or a backdoor flush or so. He could have lucked into a queen, but I'm still gonna fold because we gave him so much rope there. He did have a deuce though. Wow, okay. Did have a deuce. Well, this is like, how is that possible? Just heads up. He's got 9 deuce. I got a jack, and the flop is jack deuce deuce. I mean, you couldn't make it up. This when you run bad, you run bad. Although I did, to be fair, I did just win a pot on the left, table 1, but still. Okay, we have top pair. I'm gonna start with a half pot bet. Here, pocket 9s. What is this action? A huge 3-bet, then a small 4-bet. Just have to fold. Come on. Well, stay tuned to the end, then I'll reveal how much we have won or lost. Although if you've been watching for a while, you'll know whether I'm up a lot or down a lot. There are clues scattered all over the stream which way it has gone. Queen 4 off. Like, it's just so bad. But I'm gonna call it, like, with the antes and everything. We have position. It's okay. Okay, small c-bet, calling with bottom pair and backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Well, the backdoors have just died. He checks. We have an easy check behind. And definitely taking my showdown value here. I did have a king, okay. So again, like, he gets a pair, I get a pair. Like, when I flop something, It's often the case that villain flops something better, but I still think that's okay. It's just like pre-flop, I was very tempted to just fold there, but then again, because of the antes, and they do make a difference there, you do have to call a bit wider. I mean, you don't have to, but you're losing. I would have lost the tiniest bit of EV if I had folded there, so I decided to call. Okay, interesting here again, these huge raises. Why can't they do this when I have a real hand? Okay, King Jack suited. There is a post. That's not a limp, it's a post. We're raising it up to 5 big blinds. And I'm getting folds, which is great with the extra big blind from the poster there. 3.1 big blinds taken down. Absolutely happy with that. Okay, being a bit quiet because there's not much going on for me. Oh, a guy called it off with ace king. I didn't really see the action, but was weird. Okay, raising pocket nines, folding 3 deuce off. Oh, we got king 10 suited in the big blind. Okay, we're getting 3-bet again to a big size on the button. Yeah, I don't love it, but with nines, I'm just about gonna call, even though it's a big one. Okay, bet's pretty big, definitely calling. Here I have a decent hand. I mean, he continues betting big. I don't think this is a bluff, and if it's not a bluff, it's definitely a bigger pair, so I have to fold. Here, I'm just gonna check call this. Fortunately, a flush breaks, of course. Can I ever get an ace to fold here? You might not have one, so I am gonna go here with a 19.7 big blinds. A bluff there. I just don't think he really has an ace, actually. So I think I don't really know what he was betting like that there. Bet check back the flop, then bet the turn small, and then bet the river small as well. This is kind of a bit of a disrespectful bet, which is why I went for the check raise there. Okay, here deuces. Come on now, fold. Here I'm gonna limp with king 5 suited. Yes, there, we got it through. We got one through. Yeah, so this is like when you are in position on the river. Here I'm gonna start with a check. When you're in position on the river and you go for thin value against any thinking player, you should not go small. Like, you don't want to reopen the action betting small there. It's just not worth it. Wow, look at this. He's now over betting here. Interesting. Well, with a flush draw now, I'm definitely calling this one. I'm praying that I do get there maybe the one time, but no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He he had he got there with a 9. He was bluffing. He was bluffing all the way, and then he got there. And then he checked, thankfully, when he got there. But yeah, that's another one. Another example of running bad. Where you call it right, and then they somehow get there. Anyway, what I was going to say is that if you are in position, you don't want to reopen the action by betting small because it's just too much downside. Now, you can do that against a really bad passive player, and that's why I say this is a disrespectful bet, because if you don't have any respect for your opponent, you can do that. But if you have any sort of respect for your opponent, if he's a bit of a thinking player, then you just don't do that, because this is what happened here with this guy. He bet possibly for thin value there, and then he got check raised, and then he folded in the end. So that's why you do not risk opening up the action against a thinking player by betting small in position on the river. Out of position, it's a different story, because the imposition player can always bet as much as they want to, so it's fine to bet small there. But if you're in position, you can just check behind and you see a showdown, so then you don't want to risk that by betting small. And quite frankly, if you bet that small, even some of the more passive players might check raise as a bluff there, because they just think that you're full of it, which is not necessarily correct if you went for thin value. But yeah, even then you have to be careful, but you can still definitely get away with it a lot more than against good players. Okay, here's another one of these where I'm getting 3-bet on the button, but this one's interesting because now there is a cold caller in the small blind. I mean, that guy's range is 9s, 10s, jacks. I'm just gonna call this one, getting a good price. I was thinking of 4-betting a little. Okay, we flop a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw. Unfortunately, no help whatsoever. I think I'm gonna bluff this one. I'll bluff it pretty big. Because the thing is, the imposition raiser probably doesn't have, yes, I get it through. And here I can now, here I'm just gonna shove again. This was the move that I made earlier. And I am gonna shove again. The guy, the weak fish folded, and Queens versus King. Oh, but oh no, this is just incredible. Queens versus Kings, and then I flop a queen, and then the king comes on the turn. This is just crazy. But yeah, so this is it. Like, queen is of course marginal to jam there, but yeah, it's marginal to jam, but I still think that, first of all, I can fold out a lot of equity there if he has a hand like even like ace jack, ace queen that he might fold. Here in position with the overs, I'm just gonna call, not gonna give up. Okay. But yeah, it's just getting so unlucky there. But anyway, I was saying earlier when I bluffed on the bottom right with my king queen there, like the way the hand went, and let's see if I can get it back up somewhere. Yeah, so here the button, if he has an ace, I just think that he will c-bet the flop on such a board. And then the other player, yes, he could have jacks, but then I feel like he would have let out the turn. Okay, so here we now have a really good hand. And he overbets this one, which is interesting. So we have the nuts basically, unless he has jacks. So definitely going for a raise, even though we chop against an ace, and then we lose more in rake if we put more money in. Yeah, and we got him to fold. But I thought if he has a jack, he might call with that. I thought it's still worth doing that over just calling. But anyway, yeah. Oops, not back. Let's see. Gonna call Jack 8. Okay, and gut shot. He bets pretty big. But with the gut shot, I'm calling once in position. He keeps barreling. I'm just gonna call again. Don't really believe him. And now he checks, and I have Jack high, so I'm definitely gonna go for a bet here. And he folds. Great. We got a bluff through on the river as well. Amazing. Okay, here, pocket queens. Definitely gonna 3-bet. Yeah, so back to this hand. I figured that the button would c-bet. Oh, this is... I'm just gonna fold it. The button... I think... Oh, yeah, would have been a great flop for our hand, but whatever. The button would have c-bet an ace, I thought, on the flop, and the small blind, if he has pocket jacks, I feel like he's coming out betting on the turn, if not already on the flop. And so I figured no one really has much here, so then I could take it down with a bet on the turn and then also one on the river, but they both snap folded the turn already. So yeah, the bluffs start working a tiny bit better now. Speaking of which, let's try another bluff with ace-9 off on the button. Right here, pocket queens. It's on this board. I'm just gonna check. Yep, the bluff with the ace-9 worked. Okay, gonna check again. No reason to bet. Maybe he'll bluff the river. If he doesn't bluff the river, I will go for value here. I will go about 80%. Because he could have a smaller pocket pair like that he calls, but he just folded. If he has 7s or 8s or 9s, for example, he might call. Or even like a really good king, like king, queen, king, jack. That's the nut no pair. Okay, flopping an open ender. Just gonna go for a half pot bet. Really not a great turn. I will nevertheless bet it. Betting quite small. And then triple barreling. Well, of course not if I get raised. This is just annoying, but I have to fold now. I mean, I had 5 high, so I think it's fine to go for the bluff. Jack 9 suited, early position is a fold. Don't get carried away and open that. Even in an anti-game, it is too loose. So, we're coming towards the end of the session, and I promised to tell you how much I am up or down. Well, spoiler alert, I am down. Who would have thought that? And I am down about 3 binds in the end. So the Queens versus Kings hand didn't help there, where I got it in pre-flop. I still think that was the right play, though. It was a bit thin, but it was the right play. And then I got stacked earlier one, so it was those 2 times where I got stacked. And then just a lot that just didn't go my way today. So unfortunately, this wasn't great, but that's how it is sometimes. And we still got, like, I think 2 more hands here, so let's see. If you haven't done so yet, please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. This will help me both getting the channel a bit more prominent, and secondly, keep my motivation up if I see that more people subscribe, more people like the content. Okay, last hand, a cracker. Thank you very much for watching.